a strongman, don't we, in Stoke-on-Trent? That was Eddie Hall, winning World's Strongest Man in 2017. World famous now is our Ed. He's got his own TV show, taking part in a big boxing match in Vegas at some point. Was meant to be this month, actually, but he separated his bicep, so they've had to put the fight back. He's also a massive inspiration for my next guest this morning, who's called Shaun Blairs. Shaun has just won the actual Highland Games, which took place not in Scotland but in Rotherham. And he's setting his sights on following in Eddie's footsteps. You'll hear from him in just a second, but first, producer Jack can explain what events he had to get involved in at the Highland Games.
Yes, that's Eye of the Tiger on bagpipes. And yeah, you're right, it does sound awesome. Enough of that though, let's get to it. There's 5 events in the Highland Games, and unlike celebrity birthdays, whoever gets the most points wins. First of all, you've got log press. Lifting a 120 kilogram weight above your head as many times as you can. Easy. Number 2 is throwing a big heavy stone backwards over your head as far as possible. Thirdly, it's the caber toss. We all know that one. See how far you can throw a telephone pole. Yeah, we've all seen it. And then it's the Husserfall walk, carrying a 150 kilogram lump of concrete 20 metres in as fast a time as possible. That one sounds awful. And lastly, it's Atlas stones, lifting, yep, you guessed it, a giant heavy ball onto your back as many times as you can. Now that all sounds absolutely horrendous. I'd much rather enter the UK's Weakest Man, where you've got to, see how long you can hold up an A4 sheet of paper, or how far you can throw an empty yoghurt pot. Who's with me? Come on, let's do it!
Yeah. Let's go with Jack, the UK's Weakest Man. Anyway, back to the Highland Games. Shaun Blairs from Talk did all of that stuff, not the paper and the yoghurt pot, did all of that stuff over the weekend. And he only went and blinking won. Morning, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
How'd you feel?
Yeah, really happy. I injured myself back in 2019, so this is one of my first wins back. So it's given me a real confidence boost.
How'd you get into this, Shaun?
I think, like any kid, you watch World's Strongest Man on TV at Christmas and always think, oh, it'd be lovely to have a go, but I'll never be as strong as them guys. But I just thought, if I don't enter it, I'll never do it now. So I entered it and won, and from that point on, I got the bug.
Yeah, amazing. So where did you train? How long have you been training, etc.?
Obviously, Strength Asylum in Hanley. Where else? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've always done an activity of some description back in my early 20s, rock climbing sort of thing. And then really got into the gym, I'd say, in my probably early 20s, around 22, 23. And then it was, 2017, I decided to take the step into the strongman sport.
So Highland Games, that's just a competition for strongmen, really. I know it's all based on Scottish traditions, but it is just one of those that's on the circuit, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. It's getting more and more popular as well. I know each year there's probably 2 games run in England by a company called Man Beast. That's Andy Picken and Mark Anglesey run those, do a fantastic job. I'd say the main one would be actually the Peak District Highland Games, which I competed at last weekend, and then they run the Rotherham the following weekend after. And yeah, they're really growing in popularity. There's a lot of guys who are trying to get in, but it's an invite-only affair with some of them, so you've got to prove your worth almost, which I guess is where the Rotherham Games come in. It's almost a show come qualifier for the Peak District as well. So hopefully secured my place for next year now.
The toss in the caber looks tricky. What is that like to do?
That, I'd say, is one event that either goes really well or really badly for me. It's awkward. It's obviously you've got to be strong, but it is such a technique-based thing. Very easy to get wrong. I mean, ultimately, you're tossing a telegraph bowl, so it's never going to be too pleasant.
How far did you chuck it?
I think on this instance, I got just shy of 8 metres in length, which was, I believe, good enough for a joint first place in the Rotherham Games.
And the rules are that it has to land on its opposite end, is that it?
Yeah, you need to get a complete flip out of it. Traditionally, it's based on a clock system, so 12 o'clock would be maximum points, and then as you go to 5 past, you lose points. With regards to our games, we just did it for distance, but the flip is obviously required.
We all know what Eddie's done, and you will have spoken to Eddie down at Strength Asylum, I imagine. Just tell us about him and the kind of inspiration you've drawn from him.
Yeah, I spoke to him a few times. I remember the first time I saw him in person, and he was flipping a massive tyre at Strength Asylum, and he was like an animal. That's the only way I can describe it. And he gets the Beast nickname for a reason. And that was something that really stayed with me in my mind. He's done great things as our Ed. He's set some cracking world records, and obviously got the world champion. Sorry.
Yeah.
He's local as well, which is always nice. Gives you that good sense of pride for having him from our local area. So yeah, he's given me some good words as well. I did ask him once some advice for a beginner strongman, so he was nice enough to give me the time and help me out.
You seem like a nice lad, Shaun. Is there a beast in you?
I'm actually really calm when I compete and when I train. I try not to let myself get too immersed into it, too aggressive with the lifts, etc. I prefer just staying quite level-headed. But I don't know, maybe a little one, maybe a little beast.
What's your day job?
I'm a maintenance engineer. So fixing broken things, basically.
I bet you're an absolute. I bet at home when there's a bottle of ketchup and it's a struggle to get the lid off or whatever, or a jar, you're just perfect to have around, aren't you? Oh
yeah, you've got to do that manly thing. Pass me the jar, I'll sort it.
You won't even need a tea towel, I bet, will you?
No, I could probably manage without a tea towel.
So what's the plan, Shaun? What would you like to do? What's the dream?
Currently, obviously after winning off the back of the Highland Games, I want to go back and obviously defend my title on that one next year. Again, like I say, I've got the Peak Districts, which will be next year now. I'd like to go and do a good job in that one. Podium position in that would be fantastic. There's some very big lads in that event. And then I also do the strongman side. I compete at under 105, so it'd be nice to get back and do the qualifiers, go to England's, Britain's again, and see if we can fight for some of those titles.
I've forgotten to do with the stats. This is real quick fire because we've got to move on, but how tall are you? How heavy are you? How many calories you do in a day?
I'm not that big, actually. I'm 6 foot. I walk around about 16 and a half to 17 stone, something like that, so about 105, 107 kilo. Calories wise, I try and keep them sub 3,000, so not these huge amounts, but I don't want a big belly on me, basically. Try to stay lean.
You're a lean strongman, a lean, mean strongman.
Yeah.
Good luck with everything. Well done for winning at the weekend, for representing SOT as well, mate. We're dead proud of you.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
See you later, Shaun.
Thanks very much. Goodbye.
Cheers, pal. Shaun Blairs won the Highland Games at the weekend. BBC Radio Stoke. 24 minutes past 7.